Damian Lillard loves Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard is back in Portland as a trailblazer, signing the 3-year deal, even though he's going to miss all of next season. He's still getting paid by the Bucks and now signs a 3-year deal with the Portland Trailblazers on his latter part of his career, safe to say.
Yeah.
Final stretch, he goes back home and can be with his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big, big part of it. And yesterday the news broke here on Fox Sports Radio in the afternoon that he was going back. And there really was, I didn't have like a hot take. We always talk about a hot take thought. My initial reaction was, good for Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go and chase a ring. Don't go around the NBA and trying to find where is the best fit. I think his career is his career. And I think that there's something with that and accepting that. And good on him, good on the Blazers, who had played better basketball at the end of last season.
Mm-hmm.
Good on them for welcoming him back and realizing that maybe it wasn't the best move. Maybe it was a better move for Portland at the time, which is why I think that the split ended up happening. But it just, to me, was a feel-good move in the NBA when we have guys chasing rings, guys chasing accolades, and Damian Lillard, who's going to miss all of next season, decides that being home is the best fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this so many times where guys at the end of their careers or, on the tail end of their careers, they go to chase that ring, and it just looks funky, right? We saw Karl Malone play with the Lakers. Like, that's crazy. We've seen other guys. We've seen Charles Barkley obviously leave Philly and go to Houston, go to Phoenix. Houston on the tail end and chase.
Phoenix was legit. He was
Phoenix
an MVP.
was legit,
yeah.
But Houston on the tail end. It just doesn't look right. We never really associate those guys to those teams anyway. And so, like you said, a feel-good story. Dame is Portland. I mean, we've seen guys come through Portland, Bill Walton, obviously, back in that day, and we talk about that. But in the present, it's been all about Damian Lillard. And so to see him go back there and, he's not going to win it there, but go there and be able to have like a swan song in the place that he loves and they love him. It's beautiful.
There's a different place that I want to go with this,
Yeah.
but I do want to say the thing with Dame as well. If you went back to draft day when Dame was drafted out of Weber State,
Mm-hmm.
and you said to him, and you said to any player, Kerry, would you want an NBA championship
Mm-hmm.
or would you want the city to be yours that you go to?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's different levels. New York City's obviously different than
Absolutely.
Portland and L.A., the same thing with maybe different than Charlotte.
Right.
But if you were to tell a player that you had a career in the NBA that allowed you to be really the face of that franchise and have it be your city because of how much they loved you, and it's not to disrespect any of the former Trailblazers because they're still a part of that.
Yeah.
But it's Dame's city, and his relationship with that city has been documented through and through.
Mm-hmm.
I think you take the city portion of it. I think it's easy to say, yeah, I want to be an NBA champion. But when you look back at Dame's legacy of him being the star in Portland, it's probably going to carry more weight and be way more important than it would to ever win an NBA championship, say, elsewhere.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was about to say that part, the elsewhere, right? Because if he wins it there, it doesn't stop. It's really his town, right? It's endless. But I agree with you. I mean, I think for him, a player that came into the league, we didn't have super high expectations for Dame Lillard. I mean, we knew he could shoot the ball. I mean, he was a short guard, so that really doesn't work in the NBA too often. So the fact that he's etched a career a very notable career, I mean, top 75 already, has that accolade, MVPs, big moments, big shots in Portland. I mean, we always can go back to that big shot against OKC, against Russell Westbrook and waving them bye-bye. Those moments were huge, right? I mean, lasting throughout the NBA in general. So for him to go back there and have that reunion, like I said, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it'd be different if you went to, if you went to the Heat or you went to Golden State, a little different because of his, where he's from. But if you just went to another contender, you go to Boston or something like that and you win, it's neat, but it's not like what it was. Obviously, if you would have won a championship in Portland, would have also owned the city then,
100%.
but still, for what he's done, it's pretty amazing.
Yep.
This all leads to LeBron James.
Oh, no.
It does. No, Kerry, I'm serious. And please don't turn off the radio.
Oh,
please don't turn off the radio because I brought LeBron's name up. I am telling you this. Don't get out of the app. Don't search all the other iHeart stations. There's a reason I bring this up, is because, as I said, my initial reaction was good for Dame, and I haven't moved off at any of that in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
I feel that LeBron's only play now is Cleveland.
Yeah.
It like it is. When we talk about LeBron and free agency, we obviously knew that there were only certain teams that he could go to. Mavericks, your Mavericks were one of those teams that were talked about. The contacting,
stay away.
Yeah, the contacting of Rich Paul, which again I said is clear tampering in the NBA. You got to talk to the teams. You don't talk to the agent and say we want to trade for your guy. But the Mavericks were one of those teams. Doesn't do anything for me. If you were to play for Crosstown Clippers, does nothing.
Yeah.
To go back to Cleveland was the storybook story.
100%.
But now Damian Lillard has beat him to the punch. So now if LeBron goes anywhere else, it adds more to the greed aspect of how LeBron James is perceived. It wouldn't be how does LeBron do it in Dallas? How is this going to work out? Even if you would go back to the Heat, I think that there would be a little bit of pushback, a little bit of weirdness. I think Dame going back to Portland has forced LeBron, if you want to have this storybook ending, if you want to go to all these arenas and be honored because your career is winding down, you can only do it in a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform. And I felt like it was the coolest option story-wise. Now I think it's the only option because of what Dame Lillard did.
I agree. I mean, that's my sentiment as well. I thought with all the teams, the 4 teams that people talked about, him being a viable option for, I mean, I thought Cleveland would be the storybook one as well. I thought they were the one that, for me personally, I would be on board with that and want to see what that looks like. I mean, obviously, if that was his last season as well, just the drama, the storybook type of ending it could be because Cleveland's a good team. They could have made it out of the East, right? And so that would have been cool. LeBron, for me, just needs to to stay in L.A., play it out. If that's not the option in Cleveland, stay in L.A., play it out, and just actually fight for something once in his career. Like, not leave the situation for greener pasture in his mind. Like, just actually stick it out and see what happens and see if you can will your team to a win, which I don't know if that's really happened in his career yet.
You don't think going back to Cleveland was fighting through?
No.
You don't?
I don't. No. The first one, I think that was something that he wanted to do legacy-wise. It's just a legacy thing. I don't think it was him going to say, we're going to go fight and make this happen. That team was really good. I mean, when he first got there with Kyrie and all the pieces they had, I mean, they made other moves. They made another move. But on top of that, they were a team that you look at and be like, okay, they're one LeBron away from being dominant in the East. And I don't think that was him being really valiant or like the way that it was portrayed. I thought it was him being greedy and feeding his ego.
I thought that he fought through in Cleveland the first time through, all the way up until 2010, and then he ends up leaving after that.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I felt it was a climb early. Then you get to the finals in 2007, but I feel like 2008, 2009, and in 2010 were seasons that you're trying to fight out and sort out. I didn't agree with the Miami deal, but I do think going back to Cleveland, because it was just Kyrie, they had struck out on they had the Kevin Love deal was the Andrew Wiggins deal, but they were only about a 30-win team at that point. But LeBron is peak LeBron basically at that point, so he's going to turn anybody that he goes into as a contender.
Right.
And I like how he did right his wrong. I guess maybe, I don't know if it's semantics or it's just a way of saying it. Like, I thought, like, going back to Cleveland, no matter where he was going to go, they were going to be an NBA title contender.
Of course, right.
So you may not look at it as a fight. I look at it as a fight, even though he was the best player in the game at the time.
Yeah.
I think that if you want to take the fight aspect, which is why the Lakers are the first team that's ever told him no.
Yeah.
And then, so now there's a bit of friction there. I think he stays with the Lakers this season.
Right.
I haven't wavered off of that. I've wondered because of all of his little things that he has done, but I think that next year is the opportunity. But when we look at next year, just think about what free agency will be like. And maybe we're past the Damian Lillard point at that time. Maybe we're not looking back at it, but man, it was cool when Dame went back to Portland yesterday. And I think that LeBron, who hasn't been loved in L.A. during his time with the Lakers, probably needs some of that. And the only place that happens is Cleveland. Look at what Dame got. If LeBron does it, I think the same happens with the Cavaliers. That's why I now think because of Dame, it's his only option.
I agree. I mean, I have nothing else to say on that, but I really do agree that that's the best move if he does leave.